Good day everyone. I'm Maria Sara Biganansyal, a BTLED HE2 student. And I will be discussing about the Article 4, which is the citizenship, and the Article 5, which is the suffrage. So Article 4, citizenship. So what comes in your mind when you hear the word citizenship? And what comes in your mind also when you hear the word citizen? So what is citizenship? So citizenship refers to the status that is conferred to a citizen that enables them to enjoy its rights and privileges. An example of citizenship is someone being born in the United States and having access to all the same freedoms and rights as those already living in the US. And then what is the citizen? A citizen is an individual legally recognized as a subject of a nation. So who are the citizens of the Philippines? Okay, I have here four. First is those who are citizens of the Philippines at the time of the adoption of the 1987 Constitution. 2. Those whose fathers or mothers are citizens of the Philippines. 3. Those born before January 17, 1973 of Filipino mothers who elect Philippine citizenship upon reaching the age of majority. And last, those who are naturalized in accordance with law. So I have here the three modes of acquiring citizenship. First is the jus soli, second jus sanguinis, and third is the naturalization. So what is jus soli? So jus soli is acquisition of citizenship on the basis of place of birth. So meaning kuan siya citizen siya based sa place nga asa siya na anak. And then the jus sanguinis is acquisition of citizenship on the basis of blood relationship. So it's already understandable naman. And then the naturalization is the legal act of adopting an alien and clothing him with the privilege of a native-born citizen. So note that the Philippines follows 2 and 3 election of citizenship under the 1987 Constitution, where prior to the 1973 Constitution, if a Filipina married an alien, she lost her Filipino citizenship. Hence, her child would have to elect Filipino citizenship upon reaching the age of majority. Under the 1973 Constitution, however, children born of Filipino mothers were already considered Filipinos. Therefore, the provision on election of citizenship under the 1987 Constitution only applies to those persons who were born under the 1935 Constitution. So in order for the children to elect Filipino citizenship, the mothers must have been Filipinos at the time of their marriage. So, if your mother was a Filipina who married an alien under the 1935 Constitution and you were born before January 17, 1973, you can elect Filipino citizenship upon reaching the age of majority. So, when must the election be made? The election must be made within a reasonable period after reaching the age of majority. So, what are the effects of naturalization? So, naaman gina siya yung mga effects o unsay mga epekto about sa ina nga citizenship. So, the effects of naturalization, first, the legitimate minor children of the naturalized father became Filipino as well. 2. The wife also becomes a Filipino citizen, provided that she does not have any disqualification which would bar her from being naturalized. And the natural-born citizens, first, citizens of the Philippines from birth who do not need to perform any act to acquire or perfect their Philippine citizenship. So the next topic is the Article 5, which is the suffrage. So what is suffrage? Suffrage is the right and obligation to vote of qualified citizens in the election of certain national and local officers of the government and in the decision of public questions submitted to the people. So based on what you can see on the slides, it's already understandable of what is suffrage. And then here in mere privilege, the mere privilege is suffrage is not a natural right of the citizens, but a privilege to be given or withheld by a lawmaking power subject to constitutional limitations. It is granted to individuals only upon the fulfillment of certain minimum conditions deemed essential for the welfare of the country. So the political right, it is classified as political right enabling every citizen to participate in process of government to assure that its powers from the consent of the governed. The principle is that of one man, one vote. And here are the qualifications of voters. So first, a citizen of the Philippines, both male and female. Second, not otherwise disqualified by law. Next is at least 18 years of age. And last, have resided in the Philippines for at least 1 year and in the place wherein he proposes to vote for at least 6 months preceding the election. So, here also in the residence of qualification, a voter must have been a permanent resident of the Philippines for at least 1 year preceding the election and 6 months residence in a province, city, or municipality is considered the minimum length of time within which a person can adequately familiarize himself with the needs and conditions and the personalities of the locality. And then, what comes in your mind when you hear the word election? So, what have you ever questioned yourself if what is election? So, unsa man gini siyang word nga election? Unsa man gyud buot pasabot ani niya? So, election, it is the selection of candidates to public office by popular vote. So it's already understandable naman kung unsa gining election kay we're already nanata sa sakto nga age wherein we can say what is election. When we hear the word election, of course, we have the right. Election is we will be voting of kanang sakto nga mga politicals kinsa atong gusto nga i-elect ana nga position which is atong makita kung deserving ba nila makalingkod ana nga position. So what are the types of election? So based on the slide you can see there are the regular and the special. So unsa maning regular election? So the regular election, it refers to an election participated by those who possess the right of suffrage not disqualified by law, and who are registered voters. So while the um special is one held to fill in the vacancy in office before the expiration of the term for which incumbent was selected. So in the slide, we also have the scope of suffrage. We have the election, the plebiscite, the referendum, the initiative, and lastly the recall. So we will be talking of the election. I already mentioned this word election of what is election, but I'll repeat it again. Election means by which people choose their officials for definite and fixed periods and to whom they entrust for the time being as the representatives the exercise of powers of government. The second is the plebiscite. So the plebiscite is the vote of the people expressing their choice for or against a proposed law or enactment submitted to them. The referendum is the submission of the law or part thereof passed by the national or local legislative body to the voting citizens of a country for their ratification or approval. And then this next is the initiative. It is the process whereby the people directly propose and enact laws. And then lastly, the recall. So recall, it is a method by which a public officer may be removed from office during his tenure or before the expiration of his term by a vote of the people after registration of a petition signed by a required percentage of voters. And then lastly, this Republic Act 8189, which is Voters Registration Act of 1996, where it is citizen, in order to be qualified to exercise his right to vote, in addition to the minimum requirements set by fundamental charter, is obliged by law to register. And that's all about the Article 4, citizenship, and Article 5, the suffrage. And I hope you learn something about my discussion. Thank you.